So today we are at another barbecue restaurant. This one is on the way back from Sturgis. So if you're coming from the south going up to Sturgis, that makes this a Raleigh area halfway point stop along the ride up there. Now, this was recommended to me by Kevin Smith, who is one of our subscribers. Hi, Kevin. Who commented on a video that we had for the Lake of the Ozarks bike rally, said that this was the best place in Missouri. So I told him we'd stop by. So that is what we are doing today. Welcome to join us. Let's see if Kevin's right on today's Graybeard Biker. I gotta say, I love it when people from the Graybeard biker community recommend places to us that we can go to. It makes the channel feel more connected. So, Kevin, this one's for you, brother. Since St. Louis was right on our route home, we made it a point to swing by. So, let's see how it was. When we got there, the line was already out the door. No exaggeration. Usually that means one of two things. Either the food is legendary or the service is just slow. Spoiler alert, this case, legendary food. So we waited to get inside. And then once inside, we saw that there was even more line as it snaked through the hallways. But the restaurant knew that there was going to be a line. Evidently, this is not new for them. So they had fun with it. They had signs on the wall and hanging from the ceiling that said things like, "You should know what you want by now," just to keep everyone smiling and to build the anticipation.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
The walls were covered with history, reviews, awards, the signatures of celebrities who had eaten there before, and paintings of bluesmen and musicians. The artwork, all of this really gives this place a down-home, soulful atmosphere that fits right in with the barbecue style that they are famous for. Pappy's Smokehouse opened in 2008, started by Mike Emerson, a longtime St. Louis pitmaster who had already made a name at Super Smokers BBQ. He named the place after his dad, Pappy, and the place took off super fast. Since then, Pappy's has become one of the most celebrated barbecue joints in the country, which shed some light on why the line was out the door. Once we got to the hostess stand, to our surprise, they just took our order right there and then led us to have a place to sit down. Once we got to the table, even more awards and trophies lined the walls. Now, let's go ahead and jump into the day of. So the food just came. We had to stand in an extremely long line. It was lined up literally outside the building, and then when she came inside the building, it was down the hall. So seriously, quite a line. But the food just got here. It looks good. They literally, you pay for it as soon as you walk in, and then somebody comes around calling your name until you raise your hand so they know where to bring the food to. So it just came. It looked good. We haven't tried it yet. I will tell you that there are 4 sauces here. There's Pappy's original sauce, hoodoo sauce, Carolina vinegar, and then Jane's sweet sauce. Now, Jane's sweet sauce I know is named after Pappy's grandbaby. So those are what we have. Hoodoo, that sounds like it's probably New Orleans. New Orleans isn't really a region. I'm curious about that. And original could be anything. Sweet sauce is probably Kansas City, which is actually not far from here. So excited to try stuff. I got the pulled pork, and it has fried corn and fire and ice pickles. I don't know what that is either. And then, of course, I'll let the missus tell you about what she has. All right, so tell me your thoughts on your ribs.
Okay, so I got the half slab of ribs, and they were very, very tender, fall off the bone for real. I mean, it's just so easy to get I think the bones jumped off the meat, to be honest with you. They were like, see ya. Very good. The dry rub flavor of the ribs was very, very good. It was seasoned enough without being overpowering because the flavor of the meat was still also very good. My only criticism was there was a little bit of fat on it, like a little bit. There was a little bit more fat on it than I'm comfortable with, but that's a me thing. I think that's kind of what you get with ribs, so it's not an indictment on Pappys. It's just, it was so good that I want to eat the really fatty parts, but I can't. Hurts my stomach, but I would, and you probably will. But anyways, so I got the ribs. They were, I would say overall, they were very, very good. Are they the best ribs ever? I don't know. I've had Memphis dry rub.
That's right.
They were very, very good. But these were very good ribs, for sure. I also got green beans on the side, and they were more of like a gourmet green bean. Like they were legit full-size green beans in kind of like a seasoning and sauce of some sort. Not your typical barbecue green beans, which are usually like diced up and like cooked to holy hell and delicious. These are more sort of like steamed and fancy. Good, but weird, because that's not what I was expecting. But they're all right. And then I got the cinnamon apples, and they were really cold, which was interesting, because most of the time if you get apples, like drunken apples like this, they're warm, but it's just cold. And they were very delicious. I would have licked the inside of the container if that wasn't just super gross to watch for other people. But anyway, it also is, the whole thing is served with a big thing of Texas bread, Texas toast, thick cut bread. And I'm still in the middle of going through all of my rib bones and picking off any meat I can off of them that isn't fat or bone. So yeah, it's I think you're supposed to use a fork. Like they gave me a fork and a knife, but I just used my hands, and I just destroyed a napkin or two because I'm a savage. And I think when you get ribs, you're supposed to be a savage. If they're any good, you're a savage. If you have to use a knife and fork, then they don't fall off the bone, and you're too civilized for us. But anyway, so yeah, overall, very good.
All right, so I'm going to try the different sauces now. Of course, vinegar is what I'm going to start with because it's probably the one I'm going to go with. So let's start with whether I'm going to be impressed with that. And it looks an awful lot like what we had when we were in Sturgis. It is very liquidy and tons of pepper. So I imagine it's going to be, based off appearance, a lot like what we had up in South Dakota. It is a lot like it. A lot of black pepper on the back end. The vinegar is not overabundant though. Okay, so let's go with trying the original now. This obviously has some brown sugar or molasses in it.
If you wanted to wait until later, if you waited until later, there would have been no more.
Brown sugar.
You don't like it out of the
Not bad though. It's sweet, but it's not KC Masterpiece sweet. I'm assuming that's what Jane's sweet sauce is going to be. I'm not going there yet. Now I'm going to try what I think is New Orleans oriented. It's hoodoo sauce.
Spicy.
Huh?
Spicy.
You think? It is extremely thick. Look at how thick that is. That's a very thick sauce. It's smoky. Smoking has a hint of sweet, so it's not very hot. Of course, I still got all the pepper in my mouth from the first one. So, hint of sweet, lots of smoke. And that leaves us with Sweet Baby Jane. Which is almost black. It's got to have molasses in it.
Oh, this is the best. Oh, man, I was like,
That's your Kansas City. That one is a lot more sweet with a little bit of smoky as opposed to hoodoo, which is the opposite. A little bit of sweet with a lot of smoky. So those are the sauces that they have here. The vinegar, way too much black pepper in it. I still feel it too much. But I will probably end up combining different sauces until I come up with the concoction that I like. So I'll tell you the rest of my thoughts when I'm done. Thanks. Okay, so as far as the criteria goes here, the atmosphere is interesting. It looks like a barbecue place for sure. The entrance is a little weird. Goes around the corner outside and then all through the entire length of the building on the inside. And then you get to come around the corner if you're invited. So, but once you get in here, it looks like somebody's unfinished basement. You can go around the corner. I haven't done that yet. Maybe I'll take you around there in a minute. So there's obviously a whole nother room over there. But it's not really, it's not a country western sort of feel, but it is kind of a city blues sort of feel, which makes sense. They got blues guys up all in the hallway. But it's very suburban more than country, in my opinion. So as far as the service goes, there is very little service. You walk in, you tell the little cash register what you want to eat, you pay your money, you sit down, they come out, they yell your name, bring you your food, and then they're gone. So they weren't offensive, they just weren't here. Presentation-wise, we've got plastic utensils, paper cups. This is wax paper in a basket, so the basket's better than paper plate. So it looked fine in the basket, but it doesn't get extraordinary high remarks because it's not real dishes. But as far as what it is, it's better than some that I've been to. The flavor of the meat is pretty good. I had the pulled pork as well as some of her ribs, and I think the meat flavor is pretty good. The sauce variety is okay. They had 4. And that's, in a lot of places, that's a lot. So the 4 is not bad. I don't really understand what some of them are, which makes it even more interesting. Because they don't, you don't follow the Alabama, Kansas City, Texas, Carolina, South Carolina. Those are the major ones you see. That's not what we have here. So that's interesting and keeps me entertained. Yes, I hear the thunder. We're going to stay here for a little while. It's raining cats and dogs. But I think that the flavors of the sauce was a little... The Carolina vinegar is what disappointed me. I'm glad they have it. I wish it was better. But the flavor of the other stuff was pretty good. So, yeah. So that's that. What else do we have? Meat flavor, sauce variety, sauce flavor, presentation, and atmosphere. That's it, right? So overall, Kevin, is this the best place in Missouri? Maybe the best place in Missouri. It's not the best place I've been to, but it's not bad. It's not bad. Thank you for letting us know what you thought and giving us a place to go. We always like chasing down places that our community recommends. And this one happened, seriously, he just recommended this like last week, and I'm here this week. It doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes I have to make a note to remember next time I'm in whatever town. But we happen to be coming through here. So I appreciate that. And let me know what it is that you get when you come here, because I hadn't asked you that yet. So let me know that in the comments below. But overall, it's a nice enough place. Not the best that I've been to, but they all can't be. So, all right, so that's it. We're going to wait out this rain, which I'll show you. I was just talking to the other bikers that I told you about and asking them about the weather, because I saw they were looking at the weather app, which is something that we all do. So, being as he had it out, I asked him, okay, what are we looking at? And she said about half an hour, but now I hear thunder and see sideways rain. Not a good combination. I have the bike on a trailer and still don't want to go out in this Jeep and get in the Jeep.
It's super windy.
Super windy. You can see it going sideways.
I can see these trees bending.
And there's tons of standing water, which is very dangerous on a bike. These guys are going to Lake of the Ozarks. So you won't see this till afterwards, but we're going to pray for them just the same, because that's treacherous. So now I'm going to move back to these pickles because I'm not scared of them anymore. I was scared of them. They are, if you look at them, they have a red tint to them, if that's to give you any clues. Now, I don't see any peppers in here. If this was just a cup of pickles, it would be amazing. But these are called fire and ice pickles. It would be amazing. But these are called fire and ice pickles.
And ice.
And they're red. And I'm not really sure what that means.
And ice.
So I tried one at the top of the meal. It's hot. So I decided to wait on the rest of them, whereas not to ruin my meal by having too much pepper. Followed immediately by getting the Carolina barbecue sauce that had too much pepper, but that's beside the point. So now I'm coming back to these. I'm gonna give them a fair shot. Let's see what we got.
Are they dill or bread and butter?
Yes, they are bread and butter pickles doused in hot sauce. Now, not like doused in Cholula, but a pepper sauce of some sort. They definitely have a little bite on the back end. Honestly, it's not as offensive as the vinegar sauce was, though, as far as being hot goes. But I don't prefer them. Yeah, they're just... If this was an entire thing of dill pickles, be all over it. Because I love me some pickles, vinegar based. I don't really care for these. So, Kevin, what do you think of the pickles? Have you had the pickles? Have you ever been here before, Kevin? Kevin! I'm just kidding. All right, well, looks like we get to go play in the rain. Look at this rain. That is a lot of rain. It just started coming down. We're not big fans of the rain. It's pooling up like a river. We call this a monsoon. We're going to try to wait it out. We'll see what happens. It appears this rain is not going to go anywhere. It is on the map from now until 5 o'clock. Now, for our friends over there who are going to the Ozarks, it's going to be with them even longer. At least we're going south. So we're going to be able to get out of it, but we're not going to be able to avoid it getting back to the Jeep. So we're going to go play in the rain now. Good thing that we trailered the bike this leg of the trip, or we might be spending an unscheduled night in St. Louis, Missouri to try to wait this thing out.
How's it going?
Sweat. Seriously, those guys, I feel for them.
They're gonna be at Pappy's till tomorrow.
Alright, well, we can drive that way. Yeah, it's all fogged up in here. You can't see anything.
Okay. Just remember how gross and whatever you feel, at least you're not riding today.
Yeah.
So.
Those guys have a long way to go, and they thought they were going to wait this out, but I would stay in there, but they're going to be in there for quite a few beers.
My hair is washed finally.
Oh, yeah, the Jeep's probably clean?
You think it got all the bugs off?
No.
No.
But let's see, the frost.
Oh.
Front, there you go. But the saddlebags are probably soaked. The seats all wet.
I gave you this so you should wipe the door down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the bloopers. I just want you to know that we jogged together. We did calisthenics together.
That's right. We didn't get any footage of us running. It wouldn't have been pretty anyway.
Yeah, it would have been great. That would have been great bonus content.
Yeah.
Is your booty starting to feel warm yet?
Yeah, actually.
Oh my god, I'm so warm.
Oh. That is a fire truck that has couplets. I've never seen that.
Why is it sitting there?
I don't know. never seen a fire truck with blue lights.
Your booty's warm, you're dry, and you're 4 wheels. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wheels. No, 6 wheels.
All right, well, there's another barbecue review in the books. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, guys, stay dry, stay safe, keep it shiny side up.